So who all's gonna go shake down Muriel?
Well, I can detect thoughts and move people with my mind, so...
So you can literally shake her down.
I can literally shake her down.
Khalil doesn't feel comfortable in doing something borderline illegal at a place where he just got proved innocent in.
Alright.
If you're going to Muriel, go ahead and place yourself over at Kiska here, so I know who's in the next scene. I see Tarin's already there. Tarin done teleported. He's gone.
Can someone move me?
Yeah.
Everyone who wants to be plane shifted, join hands.
Everybody who wants to be teleported and not go to a horrible demon plane.
I've kind of got...
You know what, demon plane? I'm kind of selling myself on this plane shift thing.
I kind of had the dice bags like
Udok's
poked off the
village
table.
for some reason.
Okay, so Zook's gonna go play with Udok. So Khalil is where? Where's Khalil staying?
I don't know, man. That's...
I mean, are you going to town but just not going to the meet? Are you staying back at the inn? Are you...
Yeah, I'll go to town. I will not play part in breaking the law here.
That you know of.
You could go wait in the plane shift room. I know you love it.
Yeah. I left that book there, by the way.
Okay.
You gotta get that book next time someone's in there.
You don't Every time someone's in there.
We ought to bring it to her and say, the book is really interesting. Thanks for lending it to us.
Have
I
you
thought
read
we were
it?
talking about 50 Shades of Sand.
Yeah, we are.
That's exactly it.
Oh,
See, because
yeah.
I was gonna say every time someone stays in that room in character, out of character, you have to come up with a paragraph from that book.
Yes, totally.
Alright, I gotta figure out how to get... I sorted some of my images and my Imgur account into albums, and now I can't get them full screen, which is a problem. Oops, that wasn't the right thing. There we go. This will work. Okay, got it. I figured it out, guys. I technologied the hell out of it.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Well done, Brickroad. You know how to technology.
Well, no, don't go that far.
All right, so we're back in Kiska.
Hooray, Kiska.
What time of day are you going?
No reason to go during...
What are the bookstore's hours?
Daylight hours? I mean, it's not a bookstore. It's her personal library. Remember, she was independently wealthy. She doesn't actually run a shop or anything like that. She has a collection of books on the bottom floor, then she has her quarters up on the second floor.
Was she part of the guild?
She's not. She's not part of any guild that any of you are aware of.
What's she independently wealthy from?
She's a sand elf, so it could be any number of things.
Part of the guild of this evil cult we want to...
Well, I mean, in character, you would know that her wealth comes from her being one of the Ribs of Ith. But how she outwardly projects that wealth, you don't know. Where she claims it comes from, you don't know.
What her cover story is.
Is that information you want to find out before you go there?
I'm trying to decide whether it would be useful or not.
Wait, cultists are wealthy? Why don't I start a cult?
You already did.
Remember, this is a dragon cult, so yeah, there's some wealth going around.
We called them the Flumph.
Rickard, refresh my memory, because I got her name through my guild, but all I was told was she would probably know about cults, which she sure as hell did.
She did. You
Is
were
that
told
basically the long and
that
short of it?
if you're looking into a particular cult, she's someone who is accumulated a vast well of knowledge about cults, mostly devoted to the cults of the Witch Kings in the past, but she also had some knowledge about the current cult, and she gave you that journal for your own education, which turned out to be a trap.
Okay, should I, and I'm talking to the group now, should I go back to where I got her name from and see if I can shake down some more information? It's probably not likely that they knew it was going to be a trap, but maybe they can tell us more about her.
How did you get the information?
Through my contacts in town.
Well, he bribed his bartender very badly.
Are you asking in character or out of character?
That was in character. Out of character, I know you gave some bad advice, and I'm not 100% sure they didn't know this was a trap.
In character through my contacts, through the guild.
Is this the same contact that gave you the horrible demon chain paper?
You mean my awesome chain whip ability? Yes, that is the guild that helped me get my awesome chain whip ability.
Alright, I'm just saying, we're not exactly batting 1,000 with this. Oh, sorry, this is in character, so we're not exactly batting a dragon 1,000.
Oh my god, you guys, let's blow this off and play softball.
Okay, so Zook runs off to start the Guild of Softball.
I love it.
Can I make a bat my packed weapon so I'm proficient with it?
Yes, sure. But to get the best bat, you have to go out in the ocean and farm krakens for years. Earthbound
I'll
reference,
handle
people,
that.
come on.
I don't get it.
Oh, God.
No one likes Earthbound.
I know. So, Zook, you're going to go back to the tavern and try to find out Muriel's cover story?
Yeah, or just, just try and find out more about her background.
Okay. So you go back to the bar, and everyone's favorite barkeep is there.
Is everyone's favorite Sandelf up in the corner still out of town?
No, he's back.
Oh. Will he grant me an audience?
All you have to do to get an audience with him is walk up to the second floor of the tavern where he keeps his court.
Okay, yeah. Let's go talk to him.
And when you saunter up, he looks, and you see his bright face lighten up when he says, "Zook of the Forests. It's been a long time, my friend. Please have a seat. Regale me with stories of your grand adventures and misadventures."
Oh, I imagine you already know plenty about my adventures. I'm sure it's no secret to you.
He says, "Zook, you think too highly of yourself."
Or perhaps I think too highly of you.
Oh, damn!
He says with a grin.
He looks a little quizzically as to the direction of the conversation is taking.
Duke kind of holds up his hands and is like, I'm just kidding, but I did want to talk to you, about a certain librarian in town.
He says there are many libraries in Kiska. Which in particular?
Zook, it's Mariel Ravenhair. I need my Ravenhair.
Yeah, Muriel Ravenhaired. She's called Ravenhaired because she has a shock of black hair, which is very uncharacteristic for a sand elf.
Yeah, and I was gonna totally see how hot she was before she. So I described to him just sort of briefly how I went to go have a conversation with her, and she gave me a book that she thought might be helpful for my research, and lo and behold, it was a trap. So now I'm curious to find out more about her background, figure out how I want to handle this.
He says, "It seems to me, Zook of the Forest, you have your priorities backwards. You should have found out about her before you went to visit."
Oh, you see, I thought I had found out about her, but apparently I did not find out quite enough. I did not suspect she would hand me such a interesting tome.
He says, "Do you still have this book?"
I do, but not on me. Which is true.
He says, "I would be interested to examine it."
We were debating whether or not this book was going to be helpful in our pursuits, but if you can help us out, I can see if I can get it to you.
He nods and he says, "The payment is fair, if the book is what you say it is."
Okay. Tell you what. If I provide you with this book, will you be able to give me more information on Ravenhair? That's the deal we have.
He nods and says, "If the book is what you say it is."
And how, pray tell, are you intending? Are you planning on testing this book yourself?
He gives you like a kind of cockeyed look, like, "Really?"
This guy does not get my sense of humor. Okay. I tell him I'll be back in an hour. I'm gonna go see if I can get the book. I honestly don't remember. We took it with us, right?
Somebody in the group still has it. As I recall, Eldove identified it, but nobody actually opened it.
Right. So, can we just for simplicity, can we say it's in party loot if I go back to the...
Unless whoever's actually holding it doesn't want to give it to Zook, that would be a good assumption.
Okay. Well, I'll go back. So Zook goes back to the group and basically says, "Hey, if we give this guy this booby trap book, he's going to tell us what he can dig up on this."
No objections to that?
Seems fine.
Okay, so Zook, you now have the magical locked journal in your hand.
Right, and I go back to the. I put it in my bag and I take it back to my favorite guy, whose name I still can't remember.
I think it's Talos.
Talos? That sounds right.
He already has your drink waiting for you.
I sit down and I pull the book out of the bag and I slide it over to him and I take a sip of the drink.
Talos examines the book. You see he fishes a pearl out of one of his many pockets.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen this done many times in Eldove's company. You see the pearl shatter into dust while he's placing his hand on the book on the table. And for a moment he just sits there with his eyes closed. And after a moment he removes his hand, opens his eyes and looks at you and says, "This is a very powerful book indeed."
Yes, and one I'm very glad I did not open myself.
He says, "Whoever sought to trap you with it is a very potent enemy."
Yes, probably someone that you wouldn't like to having sitting right in the middle of your fair city.
And he takes the book and puts it inside of his cloak, out of your field of vision. He says, "On the contrary, the Guild of Shadows could put someone like this to use."
That's in character. Zook chuckles and says, "Oh, I kind of like the way you think."
He says, "Come back tomorrow. I'll have the information you've asked for. All publicly and not so publicly known information about Muriel Ravenhair."
All right, I will see you tomorrow evening. Thank you for the drink. Zook finishes his drink and tavern.
Is anybody doing anything else in Kiska for the rest of today?
Just walking the streets of my own city. Probably the open bazaar.
Khalil's gone from wall walker to street walker.
Yep.
Drinking.
Drinking?
Drinking and jamming.
So, drinking and jamming. Damn. Okay, so he's like messy. Eldove has to cast Prestidigitation like every 8 seconds. The next evening,
he's back in a place where he can buy jam.
The next evening, Zook returns to Talos in the tavern. He tells you that Muriel Ravenhair's history is shrouded. She's been living here in town for several decades, longer than most human inhabitants of Kiska would know, and it seems that she relies on that like historical drop-off to shield where she really came from, because nobody really knows where she comes from. It's clear that she's a sand elf. It's clear that she wields powerful magics of some sort, but as to family history, as to where her wealth actually comes from, as to when she came to Kiska or why, as to what her actual operations in the city are, nobody really knows. She's not really on anybody's radar. She's never been in trouble with the law. She's never had any interest in Kiskan politics. She's not affiliated with any of the guilds, although there are various magical guilds in Kiska, the Arcanists Guild in particular, that have sought her advice or her services from time to time, but she's always refused their offers to recruit her to the guild. If she wanted to, she would be in charge of the guild by now. She's lived in Kiska that long. She used to live in the library with another sand elf. A man named Yorxus. And nobody has seen Yorxus for over a year now. Openly, her story is that she and Yorxus were from a wealthy family. They relocated to Kiska to get away from the troublesome politics of Sand Elf society. They decided to settle here because they find the cosmopolitan culture of Kiska to be much more to their liking. They're kind of strange Sand Elves in that way. They don't have any particular ties to the Sand Elf Guild in Kiska, the guild that facilitates Sand Elf relations. Her story is that a little over a year ago, Yorksis had to return to the kingdom they came from in order to deal with some family business. And that's as much as she said on the subject. That's really as much as anybody's cared to ask. So in his absence, she has taken over what little duties there are in running the library. That's their cover story. What you're actually told is, by Talos, is that he thinks Yorksis is dead. He thinks that they're both members of some sort of ancient dragon cult, that Yorksis ran afoul of cult administration and was killed, and that Ravenhair was given his job. What that job is, it would be impossible to say without actually infiltrating her library and finding out.
Okay.
And Orphan, you were actually, as I recall, Mr. Locke taught you the word, right? The word to open the door in the library?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Talos tells you to tread very carefully. If this woman is an enemy, he says he wants no part in the fight.
I assure him that his name and the guild entirely would stay out of it, as that this is just purely business of me and my captains.
He says, how many captains do you serve?
I work with Captain Tarin, but obviously my loyalty is to the guild. But
He says, were it me, Zook of the Forest, were it me in your position that I had dealings with this wizardess, I would make every attempt to turn her into an ally.
that is not outside of the realm of possibilities. The goal is to go have a conversation with her, not to go in wands blazing.
Right. Like
Now-
we're here to find out whether Locke is on the level or not, because he told us something that we can verify for ourselves here.
Right. And then the other thing is, I asked Talos if he has any information about her comings and goings. Does she generally just stay in her keep all the time, or does she have travels?
She spends most of her time in the library. She doesn't have a very high level of clientele, just because the library is so small and is restricted to so narrow a focus that most people who do consult her, she sometimes casts low-level wizard spells for people in town for payment. All of her comings and goings deal with her going to various stores and restaurants. She's not the richest person in Kiska. She's not a member of the nobility, but she's relatively well off. She does all of her shopping in the open bazaar for fresh fruits and meats, things like that. She's known to abhor the practice of fighting in the grand arena. She's never been known to any of the holy days in Kiska where there's fighting in the arena. She's never known to go to any of the big spectacles. She's never been known to attend any of public executions or any of the Jawl's speeches or any of that. She tries to stay clear of politics, royalty, violence in town. She has friends, of course, mostly. Is she a pacifist? To that, Talos shrugs. He says, I guess we'll find out.
Does she have any notable visitors from out of town that have been spotted, or is it pretty much just people in town go to ask her, from the guilds go to ask her?
When Yorksis was here, and Talos says the word here and not alive.
Right.
He says when Yorksis was here, once in a while they were known to entertain for visiting Sand Elves, friends of theirs, perhaps dignitaries of Sand Elf kingdoms, but only on a very informal basis. She has friends within town of Kiskan citizens of all walks of life, but nothing that he's able to pin on criminal activity or high-level use of magic.
Okay. Well, thank you. And Zook says thank you very much for the information, and he just sort of says, "Is there anything? I mean, obviously, you gave you the advice that you would try to not make a enemy of her. Is there anything else you can think of that would be useful, or?"
He says, if it were me, and I had to deal with this woman in an environment that could turn hostile, I would find some way to nullify her magical abilities.
We've got a few of those.
That is a very very real possibility. But again, hopefully it won't come to that. I don't want her to feel threatened if she doesn't need to.
She already tried to trap you with a magic book.
That's true, but hopefully just seeing me walk back through her door will be enough to let her know what she's dealing with.
So what we're going to say here is that if there's any other information you want to have about Muriel that just didn't come to mind, we're going to pretend like Talus told it to you. Because
Okay.
you gave him considerable payment for this service.
Okay, so
So
that's
feel
just...
free to ask future questions about Ravenhair if you want.
Okay.
That offer is only open to Zook.
But if somebody is with me, they could ask me, and then I can ask you, basically?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if anyone else has any other questions they want me to ask...
This is where Zook starts going into the private room, and Brick starts telling him stuff that Zook doesn't tell us.
No, it's cool. All right, and I once again I thank Talos heartily for his help, and say, enjoy the book. Take my leave. If he's apparently done with me, if he's not giving any indication he needs.
Oh, I guarantee you he doesn't need you for anything else.
Fair enough.
So we're all in 100% agreement. Nothing bad could possibly happen to giving that guy that book, right?
Not to us. I mean, he's going to do something horrible to somebody else in town, but I don't care.
That's because Zook's a good guy.
Chaotic good.
That's why he's chaotic good, yeah.
Right.
Khalil may be pissed at me.
Do we have any of those things from the Goblin Tower, like the magic dampening orbs?
Everything you took from the Goblin Tower ended up on party loot. I don't know if anything is
Okay.
still there or not.
All right, let me check.
There's a shitload of grenades left, and some of them are unidentified. And I think you had said at one point that we would have had the identification on those by now, but I don't know what they are.
Let me open
We
up.
have a couple marbles, too.
Let me open up the party loot here and refresh my memory.
Well, I mean, given the amount of pearls that we have now, like, at any point we could have just done them all.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was
That's what I'm gonna open up party loot and go down the list of everything you have that's not the grenades you have that aren't identified. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, you all have tons and tons of grenades. Let me go ahead and open up the actual rules for those encounters.
You have here the grenades of douchebag killing. Instantly kill one douchebag.
Alright, so there's 8 kinds of grenades. You guys, I don't know which ones you all have here, but I'll go down the list. Who wants to actually go in the party loot? And
I'm in the party though.
you're on it? Okay. The yellow ones are flashbangs. They explode. It's a con save 15 to everybody in radius of the explosion. Anybody who can see or hear it. Anybody who fails is blinded and deafened until the end of the next turn.
Mm-hmm.
The dark gray ones are madness. These ones, it explodes in a 5-foot cloud of gas. Anybody in that cloud, a 5-foot radius cloud of gas, I should say. Anyone within that cloud makes a whiz save 15 or suffers a maddening effect. The actual effects of which are random, rolled on a table.
We got a lot of those.
Yeah, Khalil got hit by one of those, as
Okay.
I recall.
The rainbow ones
Yeah.
splash forward in a 10-foot cone, and anybody splashed with the liquid makes a dex save 15. If they fail, they get a random wild magic effect.
Okay. The Mercuries of the Petrify, we know about those.
Yep. The purple ones are magic holes. You throw the orb onto the ground, it crackles with electricity. As long as you throw it at a hard surface. Any spell cast within eyeshot of the hole, the magic instead gets sucked into the orb. The spell is, for purposes of the caster, the spell slot is used, but the spell does not take effect unless the orb is removed from the premises.
Okay. That's what we need to bring into here.
Yeah, we need some of those.
The yellow-green ones are Fear. It splashes in a 10-foot cone. Wiz save 15. Or you become frightened of the first creature you see after being splashed.
Okay.
The blue bubbly ones are Gravity. That's a 5-foot radius cloud.
Yeah.
Dex save 15, or Gravity's reversed, and that's hilarious.
We've never tried to use those on anybody outdoors, have we?
No.
I think I may have grabbed a couple this last time
That'd
around.
be amazing.
And then the last ones are the red ones. That's Rusts.
Yeah.
That splashes in a 10-foot cone. Anybody splashed, Dex save 15, or all metal that they're carrying suffers as though they were touched by a rust monster. Which essentially means it loses a plus. So there's all the grenades you have at your disposal.
Well, not a plus, because if it's a plus, it wouldn't get affected.
Well, what happens is the armor loses 1 point of effectiveness as far as AC is concerned. If the AC bonus would be reduced to 0, the armor is destroyed.
Right.
But yeah, magical weapons would not be affected. So those are the grenades that you all have in stock right now. You have lots of each.
Okay, so here's my idea, right? We go to a smith, and we get him to forge a shield, right, for Khalil. And we put a materia slot in the center. Then we put that anti-magic orb in it, and so shield can't see us because we're behind Khalil.
No, that wouldn't work because the orb has to break. You have to throw it at a hard surface. If you're just holding it or just setting it somewhere, it is inert.
No. Because we could move around the orbs after the grenade shattered.
Yeah, but he's saying that like install it in a shield thing wouldn't work.
Right. It would look pretty, but you actually have to throw it at the hard surface. It's got to break.
Okay, second idea. He shield bashes a witch.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty much it. That's the end game of that scenario.
So we're looking for a smith?
No, I don't think this is an actual good idea. I think it's just...
So what is the good
idea that will backfire on us?
And by us, you mean Khalil.
Well, we know, of course, that those grenades are no fun for us either, but I'm pretty sure going up against this lady, it would be...
We have enough non-magical on us
right.
that I think we could...
That's what I'm trying to...
Yeah.
So what's the plan now?
Who should take... Do you want me to grab a couple of those out of party loot? Totally grab a couple of those out of party loot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Don't keep it in the same place as your wand.
Let's see. Nick, can you move your cursor?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna take 2 of these purple magic hole.
What happens if you put one of these grenades in the bag of holding, Greg?
One of the grenades in what?
Into a bag of holding.
You don't have a bag of holding, so you don't know.
What happens if we put one of these grenades into Destil's horrible room?
Oh god, does it cause a singularity?
You'd have to try it to get the answer.
They're probably just
I'm really
the
tempted to
door,
try it.
but
If we mention this idea to fucking Destil, he might do it.
He's gonna try it, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
to be clear, our plan is to go assault her, throw one of these anti-magic
No.
orbs.
No.
These are
our cure.
insurance if our discussion with her goes badly.
In fact, I would probably feel comfortable if somebody else took a couple of these, maybe Orphan, since you're particularly quick, just in case I get incapacitated.
Alright, I'll take 2.
Sounds good. It's our insurance policy, eh?
Yeah, just in case. Did not.
So who all is going to speak with Ravenhair?
Tarin will go.
I think me and Eldove should definitely go because we were the ones that she gave the book to. So I want to see the look on her face. Bathed.
Has Arik ever met this woman?
No. Only Zook and Eldove have.
Cool.
Arik, you're invited. Come on.
I'm coming.
What if someone dies?
We have 100 years. We already established that.
What if someone dies, Arik, and we don't have you around?
You got to remember, this is a death cult, so they will probably take the bodies.
So everybody except Khalil is going to the library, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. And it's the middle of the day. The library is open for business.
What is this? Where is this library? Is it in the school or is it like somewhere else?
It was in the Craftsman's Ward.
Okay.
So who uses this library?
Very few people.
Yeah, this isn't
Not a
like a
particularly
business so
popular
much as
place.
it's a private library that sometimes is useful.
It's kind of like how there's some old crank that has like a military museum in his garage in your town, but you never go there. Similar to that.
I'll try the door, see if it's open or if we have to knock.
Yeah, it's open.
Alright, I'll open it and say hello.
You go in, and you see Ravenhair sitting in the back of the room at one of the tables, with a book open on it. When she sees you come in, she stands and greets you.
Who came with Orphan besides me?
Everybody but Khalil.
Everyone except-
Everyone. A mob. A
except
menacing
for Khalil.
mob. Slightly less menacing
I'll-
because there's no Khalil.
I'll stand aside to let Tarin enter.
And Tarin enters, along with Arik, Eldove, and Zook.
Is there any noticeable reaction when you walk in unscathed?
No, just a pleasant greeting to each of you in turn.
Well, that didn't go quite.
Is there anyone else in the library right now aside from us and her?
Not on the bottom floor that you can see.
When we were approaching from the outside, was there any?
Just the hustle and bustle of the city street. Nothing out of the ordinary, in other words.
Okay. Zook says, "Oh, hello again. How are you doing this evening?"
She says, I see you've brought friends. Says, please, come in, make yourselves at home. What can I do for you?
Would you like to tell her what we discovered about her book?
I don't know if we want to get off on the wrong foot with her.
Fair enough.
And she says, why would we be on the wrong foot? She's addressing Orphan when she says this.
Arik is perusing all the books that are on the shelves.
Like I said, it's a very kind of narrow focus. Most of her lifelong research has been into ancient cults mostly of the Witch Kings of the Ramnaean Desert. But you also see information about dragon cults, cults of now dead gods, other kind of evilly inclined magical organizations. She has quite a knowledge base here, but unless it's your very specific interest, there's...
No, it's Arik is just being inconspicuous.
Now,
Yeah.
so you're just trying to be inconspicuous, or are you trying to get to a particular place? Well, here, let me actually get the map, since
Okay.
it seems like we're dangerously close to throwing down here. So
No, I hope not.
I don't know what we're doing. So, like, I know what we're doing, but I don't know what we're doing.
you know, but you don't know. I know. I see. I feel
We're
you.
gonna roll for initiative in this conversation.
And Orphan will just answer a question with, well, we discovered the prank that you played on us.
Okay. So you enter the library through the front door here, and the walls inside are all lined with bookshelves. There's a couple of tables here in either front corner. In the back, along the back wall, there's another table back here where Ravenhair was sitting, and she has 2 doors leading off to stairs going to the upper floors. So go ahead and place yourself on this map where you'd like to be, and I will get Ravenhair in place.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, where is she?
So she would be up here.
Hasn't really loaded for me, but it seems like my
I got it.
So Orphan says we discovered the little prank you tried to play.
Yeah.
She looks confused. She says, "What do you mean?"
Zook will say, "Well, hold on. We're not accusing you of anything, but that book was not a very good book."
She takes a few steps forward. Eldove and Tarin. Make me an Arcana check. DC 20. Eldove, you can take it with advantage. And it looks like the dice did not stay persistent even though I told them to. That's okay. That's okay.
Oh well, whatever.
It's fine.
Things that are unlikely to matter for 500, Alex. Oh shit, I rolled a 20.
Eldove,
Really?
you noticed
I
right
made
away.
it as well, I think. Again, the internet's being really... Yeah, I made it.
Okay. Eldove, you notice right away, because your spell focus happens to be a ring. You see she has a glass and ivory ring on one of her hands. And she goes... You can see that the digits on her fingers, Tarin, you see this as well, begin to move. And right away, Eldove, you notice her ring is most likely her spell focus. Tarin, you notice this as well. You have a suspicion. Eldove, you're closer to certain.
Counterspell.
Counterspell? What level?
Is she casting a spell? Do I see her casting a spell?
I
Like,
don't have
is her-
dice. Hold on.
You don't need dice.
He
I'm
doesn't.
gonna
You just
reload
failed
my
the rolls.
internet connection. I'll be right back because this thing's not working right now.
To answer your question, no, she's not casting a spell yet, but you can tell she's preparing to.
Alright. Oh, wait. She's casting a spell. You need to tell me if you're casting a spell. Are you a cop?
All right, now I got dice. Now we can play some D&D.
Yeah, we can all hear that.
That is the sound of your discontent. So she asks, "What do you mean?" She looks confused at the statement. And last I heard, someone had said that, well, we're not accusing you of anything, but...
Oh, that was okay. Yeah, Zook had said we're not accusing you of anything, but that was not a very good book you gave us. And she says, "I don't understand."
Yeah,
Starts
she's-
wiggling her fingers.
You didn't see anything happen with her fingers. You didn't notice it.
No, I know. Zook didn't notice that. And Zook just kind of looks at Eldove like, "Should I just tell her?" That raises an eyebrow at him, like, "Eh?
I don't know. I don't read.
You don't read shrugs? Are we not this close that you know what I mean when I look at you and shrug after a statement like that?" Okay, fine. And Zook just kind of looks at her and goes, "Well, that book you gave us was trapped."
I appreciate that PVC2 is 100.
Is she playing now? She's okay.
Apparently, Gates joined.
So you see, the book you gave us was trapped.
Yeah.
And again, she just stands there, looks confused, and maybe a little hurt at the accusation. She says, "Well, I apologize if the book had some enchantment on it that I was unable to read, but it was not my intention to cause any of you any harm. Do you still have the tome?"
Not on me.
Can I make an insight check on this to see if she's...
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
go
the
ahead.
same thing.
Throw it.
Alright. Alright. This is a 22.
What did Zook get?
That is not very good. That's a 9. Oh wait, actually, do I have double insight?
Orphan, she is bullshitting you.
Yeah.
She is lying through her elven teeth.
I'll
Which are better than
I'll
human
s-
teeth.
I'll say, look, it's all right. We only came here to talk. But you don't have. You can drop the pretense. We're not angry at you.
Eldove. Now she's casting a spell.
Eldove
Actually, let's do
is now
this.
casting
Let's
her
do it
spell.
this way. We'll do it correctly. Now we're rolling initiative.
Okay.
Look.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, Orphan,
Oh,
what's that
Jason
initiative?
Pete's.
20.
20. And Arik.
2.
Nice. And Khalil's not here. Zook.
19.
And Eldove.
Get fucked, Eric. I got a 3.
Nice. Tarin, we are rolling initiative.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's still really janky for me. I just set my internet connection. Tarin got a 17, assuming that die has stopped moving. It's hard to tell.
I'll just put down the 17. It's fine.
Looks like 17 to me.
So yeah, Orphan, you have initiative.
All right. Can I tell that she is casting a spell,
You cannot.
or is that just something? Yeah. So
Wait, can I just yell out she's casting a spell?
You can use your reaction on her turn to counterspell, but no, you don't have time to yell out a full sentence.
yeah. So
So right now,
is
Orphan
just-
has to take an action as though Orphan doesn't know anything's about to happen.
That's what I'm saying. So Orphan is just, in kind of continuation of her last sentence. It's like, look, we're not mad. We're just like hands up, placating. We're just here. We just want to talk to you.
Okay. Zook.
Duke is. All right.
Oh, hi.
I know what I want to do, and I know what Zook would actually probably do. All right, be good again. Yeah, Zook is just gonna because he doesn't know she's casting a spell yet, so he's just still talking. So he just says, it really, yeah, what she said, it really is fine. Like we honestly just came here to talk, but please let's not do anything foolish.
So Zook says, let's not do anything foolish.
Yeah.
Tarin.
So I don't know that she's actually doing something yet, right?
No, you don't.
I think Eldove is.
Unless the rule I'm going to have for this session at least is unless you literally have counterspell in your prepared spell list right now, you don't know she's casting a spell. Because technically she's not yet. Technically she won't until her turn.
Tarin doesn't. I mean, it's no different than the conversation they were already having, which Tarin wasn't participating in, so no action.
Okay. And yes, she is casting a spell, Eldove. What are you doing about that?
Eldove.
Eldove.
Zelda.
Oh, do you not hear me? I counterspell it.
Okay. What level?
Just level 3.
Level 3. You need to make a check. Which kind of check? Let me double check.
DC, I think it's 10 plus the spell's level.
Yeah, your spellcasting ability check. DC is 19.
Oh,
Shit.
That's a 19.
That's it. You got it?
I rolled a 19
That's
plus
fine.
10.
You got it. So she goes to cast a spell, and Eldove very quickly whips his ring out, and Eldove, you sense the magical energy of her spell dissipate in the air. And when that happens, you see the look on her face change from like pleasant kind of elven smugness, and also the mixture of confusion and hurt at these accusations, change immediately to anger.
Well, now that's not very polite.
And now it's your turn.
Eldove is going to cast Detect Thoughts.
Detect thoughts?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Her surface thoughts right now are anger and fear. She's thinking about how she can slip away. She's thinking about how she can make it to safety within the library.
Mm-hmm.
She realizes now that she's thinking that all of you are more potent than you appeared at first, and her thoughts are turning to, you see the image of a dark room somewhere within this library that if she can get to it, she knows she'll be safe. but her thoughts are turned to how can she get there quickly and without you following her.
Mm-hmm.
Arik.
Just keep looking at books.
Well, hostile actions have been taken, right? Like, even though it's a...
What you physically saw was Eldove throw up his ring, and her entire demeanor change. I mean, you didn't actually see the magic energy changing place or anything, but you've seen this counterspell rigmarole a couple times, so it's safe to assume you know what just happened.
Alright. In that case, I'm gonna go up here, and I will cast. I'm gonna cast Shatter on her.
Ooh.
Which sounds a whole lot cooler than it actually is.
That's pretty raw.
Whoa. Or just trying to talk a bit.
Well, I saw the counterspell thing happen. So
Gotcha.
I'm gonna harass her a little bit. It's casting time one action. A sudden loud ringing noise, painfully intense, erupts from your choice within range.
Okay.
Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Creature takes 3d8 thunder damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
Okay. Guess what?
Yeah.
Counterspelled.
That's what I thought would happen, yeah.
So Arik steps forward with his holy symbol, and her eyes meet yours for a second. And she throws up her hand, and you see she's got a ring, not similar to Eldove's, but she used it the same way that he just did. And you feel your magic just dissipate into the air around you. Orphan.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Yay!
Alright, if Orphan knew she was bolting, she would probably go and try and, like, grapple her, but she doesn't, so instead she's going to toss out one of these magical grenades.
Okay, which one?
The magic hole one.
Okay, and where are you throwing it to? Just go ahead and tab on the map where you want to throw it to.
Let's see, right in front of her.
Right in front of her? So a hatch appears, and a grenade flies, and Orphan lobs it at Ravenhair's feet, and you hear the loud crack when it hits the ground, and the purple orb, the grenade, begins crackling with purple, the familiar electricity that will suck in magical energy. That brings us to Zook. Are you moving?
And then I'm gonna move around. Go to here.
Okay, Zook.
Zook sees all this nonsense all start to happen behind him.
Nonsense? I'm gonna remember that when you need healing.
He takes a couple steps forward. And he walked in here with his bow slung over his shoulder, like he normally does, his rapier at his side. He doesn't draw on her, but he does sort of slump down his shoulder, very kind of slowly pull the bow off, and he's holding it kind of in his left hand, and he looks at her and says, "We really don't want this to go down like this. Will you just talk? That thing you see in front of you is gonna counter all your spells."
Tarin.
Tarin will draw his sword, but wait to see how she reacts.
Okay.
No held action.
She holds her hands out in front of her. And you see she's looking very worrisome down at the orb at her feet. And she says, "Very well, I appear to be outmatched. What is it you're here for?" Does anyone else have any hostile intent as far as Ravenhair goes?
He doesn't.
Anybody planning to sneak attack her from behind, like the monk back there?
I'm gonna prepare an action. If she bolts, I'm gonna try and grapple her.
Okay. Well, right now she's holding her hands up, so everybody can see she's not holding anything. She's got the ring on her hand. She hasn't made a move towards the grenade on the ground. So we're going to come off of initiative for the conversation. If anybody starts fighting, though, we're going to start the initiative back with Orphan's action to grapple her.
Fair enough.
All right.
So she asks, "What is it you've come here for?"
We're looking for information about the group that you work for.
She says, of course you are. I knew that. That's why I tried to trap you with a book.
And we knew that. That's why we're back here.
So where do we go from here?
My understanding is that you have a certain
so-
disagreement with this group yourself. Don't exactly like the way things have been run since Kendrick came in.
She says, and who told you that?
I have my sources.
She looks at Tarin. Says, I'm sure you do, but who told you that?
Tarin just sort of shrugs. He's like, I mean, I don't see the need to tell you that right now.
She sighs and says, if we're to have this discussion, can we at least have it in comfort? Shall we go upstairs, have a drink? I assure you there will be no more tricks.
Is there anyone else upstairs?
She shakes her head.
You wouldn't happen to mind if I go take a look first?
She motions to the door at her right, this door here. Says, by all means.
All right, and
I'll take the first.
sorry.
I'll take the first drink.
Okay. Well, she's not serving drinks yet. Right now, Zook's going upstairs to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tarin will sheath his sword.
But
I'm
Orphan,
gonna head over to Orphan, and I'm gonna say, earlier when I had a moment, I detected she was thinking of running away to somewhere, so if you see her going to bolt, grab her.
Zook,
Yeah.
the stairs come up in a little hallway up in the north end here. And there are two quarters, two doors leading in. When you come in, you see everything that the modern upper middle class Keyskin citizen could want. They have this. She has a nice sitting table, a nice, like, I don't know, breakfast nook. She has. This is where she keeps her foodstuffs and everything. These are her living quarters. So one room is her bedroom, the other room is just like a storeroom. But when you go in and check out both rooms, no, you don't see anybody in here.
Quick roll for perception just to check for any.
You'd have to do it once for each room.
Okay. I mean, I'm taking my time. I don't think anything's happening downstairs. I got a minute.
No problem.
So that's. That is my perception.
Your perception's pretty outrageous.
Oh yeah. It's 10. It's base 10, 17, 22. I can't roll less than 20.
And the other room?
I'm just looking for like any traps or anything like that.
Well, you're looking for people right now.
Oh yeah, people hiding. I guess. Yeah, that's fine.
So you do a search of
And
both
then the other
rooms.
one is much higher. 7.
You don't find anybody hiding in here. You cover all the crannies as best you can. Look under the bed and the cabinets. You also do a once-over, like a sweep with your rapier, looking for places you would hide if you were invisible. And you don't see anything of that nature either. More curiously, though, you don't particularly see any... I mean, you see some personal effects, like she's got a wardrobe with some her clothes in it, but you don't see anything that you would imagine a high-level wizard to have. You don't see like spellbooks laying around. You don't see a staff with a crystal on top pulsing with energy. None of that. This leads you to believe that there's another room to this library.
Right.
I didn't just put all these black cards here for no reason.
Well, I mean, and I can tell. I mean, I don't think it's out of character knowledge to know that there's more to this flick. So,
Right.
Duke comes in, and I got a question. Does telepathy work past this ball? Like, does mind link work past this ball?
It would not.
It would not.
Right, because it's you're talking about Tarin's mind link.
Yeah.
Because Tarin's mind link is part of his Warlock pact, and his Warlock pact gives him arcane magic, so it's not a psionic kind of telepathy, it's a magical kind, so it would not work around the ball.
Okay. Well, in that case, Zook will actually walk up to Tarin, basically say, like, it looks clear up in that direction, but I didn't see any signs of wizard living. I'm gonna check the other room.
Okay. I'll
And
go first.
I'm gonna look at her and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna check the other room. I think the others are going to join you up.
Oh, I thought you would check both rooms.
No, I meant up this way.
Oh,
is that
no.
good
Yeah,
stairs?
the staircases open up either side of the hallway.
So
this is the entirety of the second floor.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how to get to this area
Yeah.
that I know exists because
No.
it's sitting there.
You do not.
All right. Well, then I just tell Tarin basically what you told me, what I know, which is It's clear, but suspiciously devoid of anything wizard-like.
Right.
Tarin will go upstairs, and do I see anything magical?
No.
Now that I'm out of the orb?
Not in either room.
Okay. Yeah,
Orphan
I don't see
will
any,
take
I don't
the,
see anything hidden by illusions or anything, obviously. Alright. Well, tell him, looks clear to me.
Orphan's gonna go upstairs and get her drink on.
She's gonna take the orb with her.
Okay, remember though, it's not safe to pick this orb up. You have to wrap it in something or wear gloves at least.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I can grab it. I typically wear gloves.
Okay.
Okay.
You are physically wearing gloves.
Yes.
So she invites you all up to where there's a small sitting table in her storeroom.
Mm-hmm.
She gets a decanter of Sand Elf wine down from one of her shelves, pours out a glass for each of you, pours herself a glass. You drink before she does?
Ooh.
I'll
Duke's not
drink
going
before
to drink at all.
any of my party members do.
But do you drink before she does?
No.
Okay. In that case...
Well, yeah, sure, I will.
You will? Oh, that
Yeah,
was
no,
dumb.
I'll drink before she
Constitution save. No, I'm just kidding. There's nothing in there. It's...
No, I'm immune to poisons, which is why I'm drinking it
Oh,
first.
might have not been poison, though. Could have been any number of things. It could have just been very vile tasting. No, it's a reasonable Sand Elf vintage, the kind you've had before on previous visits to Kiska.
Alright. I'll nod to the rest of the party.
Zook will take a very small sip of it, but not exactly down it.
Eric's already on his 4th glass.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are like. yeah.
He's
Totally
like,
coming
is this
upstairs?
the only bottle we have?
Why don't you just hand me the bottle?
Jeans bag
It's
out of
a-
the room.
Yeah, Tarin will pour a glass, make himself comfortable.
Okay.
Are there chairs?
This isn't actually a bedroom. This is like a storeroom
Okay.
where she's got her foodstuffs. She maintains a vegetarian lifestyle, so she has all kinds of fresh and dried vegetables and fruits here. You see one part of the room is a counter where she can prepare food for herself. You also see smaller bookshelves in here, books that she's in the process of either using for research or repairing or transcribing. She has a little work area set up for that as well. So as you all are partaking of her wine, she says, I ask again, how is it you know what you know? You have to tell me this, or we can't have any kind of accord. I don't know that we can trust each other. I don't know of what help or hindrance you mean to be to me.
Tarin
It
will
was-
shrug. and
Zook will say... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, no, I'll let you finish, because I was going to ignore her question, basically.
Oh, Tarin will shrug and say, a friend of ours put us in contact with a man named something Locke. What was his character's name? I don't think I wrote it down.
Destin.
Destiny Lock.
Destin, that's right.
Destin Lock.
Destin Locke, who seemed to be quite forthcoming with this sort of information.
And when you say Destin Locke, she swallows like there was a lump in the back of her throat. And she says, I see. And Destin told you that I have reason to be at odds with the others in the cult.
Tarin nods.
It's been implied to us that you may make a better ally than enemy. And, frankly, I think we'd rather do that. If you, really are on the outs with the...
She says, if you know about me, and you know about my association with the cult, then you know I'm not on the outs with them. I am one of the ribs of Ith. It is true.
Right, but the point is, maybe you don't want to be one of the ribs anymore. Perhaps you'd like to be separated from the rest of the rib cage.
Well, tell me about the Ribs of Ith. Tell me about what happened when Gendred showed up. It was about a year ago, right?
Yeah, this would have been about a year ago.
No, that's in character.
Oh, you're asking her in character? She nods and says, before I answer your questions, I would know what you mean to do. What are your goals? What is your interest in the cult?
It's not it's not the cult that we have issue with. It's Gendred specifically.
And she asks why.
I know, the usual, trying to kill us, trying to destroy the world.
He took several of us from our homes with the intent to kill us.
She looks like she's taking in this information. She asks for specifics, like which of you were taken, where were you taken from, when did it happen, do you know the manner and how it happened. She's pressing for information, specifics about what Gendred did to you.
Tell me about the cult first, and then we can talk about me. Tell me about what it was like before Gendred showed up and what he changed.
She nods, and she says, this is knowledge that even our lowest level initiates wouldn't have. But given the circumstances, given the power that you all surely wield, and given that I see no way to negotiate my safety without answering your questions, I will tell you. She says, If is a shadow dragon that inhabits the Shadowfell, and has for millennia, older than any dragon known in any of the mortal trines. She says, of course, there are mortals that serve If, including myself and many others. And for centuries, that's all it was servitude, reverence for the beautiful dragon that we all know. She says, we mean very little harm to the people of your world. As you can see, we've done we wield no influence in Kiska, nor do we wish any. Ith is very secretive and very isolated. The cult prefers it that way.
Sounds fine to me. Where does the part about bringing in hideous ancient gods from beyond death come in?
She tells you... She gives you the name of a couple of low-level cult initiates. And let me look up those names here.
Are any of them half-orc names?
No. Oh, you know what? I actually didn't give these NPCs names because they're not very important. But these two initiates lived and served Ith in secret in a fishing village along the coast of Romneus. And their story is that one morning they found a man dressed in black robes laying half drowned on their shore. Very close to death. Very sick. He was very feverish. They brought him in back home with the intention on... because they were taught a way to sense magical energy, which Ith craves. And they sensed it on this person, although it was very weak. They brought him in with the intention of getting him healthy enough to travel and then taking him to their higher level guild or cult contacts and turning him over. The idea being that whatever magic energy could be salvaged out of him could be repurposed for Ith. But he made a much quicker recovery than they expected and began working as a laborer in the town. He shunned his robes. He took on the... I gotta let my dog inside. He's been barking for like 15 minutes, and I can't ignore him anymore. So I will just let Nodal continue the story from here. And when I get back, I'll decide whether or not it's canonical.
Alright, Nodal, get on it.
Alright, so after he stopped wearing robes, he found that his movements were much freer than they were before. And he decided to become a monk.
Go on.
So while visiting the local monastery, he heard about a crazy-ass Flumph monastery up in the mountains. And that shit is bananas, right?
Okay, well, so I heard that shit is bananas, so I'm just going to go with uncanonical. So what actually happened was this man started working in labor in their town, in the village.